I'm doing entertainment, Depp vs. Heard, pop culture, that kind of thing, and I'm sure you know that Amber Heard is still in Aquaman 2, which is the reason we're following the movie mainly and the news around it. So this is called Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom reportedly cannot do more reshoots updated. This is from Collider. I'm not so happy with their narrative in general, but once in a while they'll just report some basic news about movies. Let's see what we got. Reports state that more reshoots will not be possible due to the money spent already. So, whatever they got is what they got. I heard Amber was cut down to 5 minutes, some people say 10, but whatever it is, nothing will be added at this point. Here's a tweet from James Gunn, which says there are a few reporters I love more than Adam Bravey, if I'm saying that right. Truly a good guy, but in this case, he needs to get a new source as this is entirely untrue. And the untrue thing from Variety, and shock of the week, Variety's got something that's untrue, says a well-placed source tells Variety that James Gunn and Peter Safran are exploring the possibility of incorporating Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson's Batman into the wider DC universe, which is not true. And it continues. The original article as it ran before this information is below. Just when it seemed like we couldn't get any more dramatic news from the Warner Bros. And DC studios after the turbulent few weeks since the appointment of James Gunn and Peter Safran as co-CEOs and co-chairman of DC Studios, another potential quagmire has emerged, and this time it involves a film that hasn't been canceled yet. As a part of a feature examining the road ahead of DC under its new leadership, where does Henry Cavill stand? Then they speculate a bit about who might be Batman. Will Michael Keaton make an appearance? Will Robert Pattinson be Batman? But then, after the Batman stuff, which I find, mildly interesting, I kind of like Batman, they get into Jason Momoa, which is really what we want to talk about. Variety has reported a note of concern for the upcoming sequel to Aquaman, which starred Jason Momoa as the title character. Its sequel, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, is due for release in just over a year on December 25th, 2023. However, sources have told Variety that prior to the arrival of Gunn and Safran in their new roles, the co-chief of Warner Bros., Pam Abdi, met with Aquaman director James Gunn to deliver some bad news. Even worse news than one of their actors lost a huge court case in Virginia due to the spiraling costs of the sequel, which had ballooned to over $200 million. Reshoots have had to be drastically scaled back before release, putting more pressure on both the director and the production at large. So, the real thing is here, aside from Mera, who we're not too happy about, they've had some other issues. So, with those other issues in mind, that gives them more incentive to be very skeptical and very careful about how big Mera's role is. From what we understand, due to contract, they can't cut it completely, which is a lose for them, because if she's in it for a split second, we're not seeing it. But at least we get an insight to their state of mind and what they do in the situation that they're stuck in now. Further adaptations made to the movie in its current state will cost millions of dollars that the studio is just not willing to spend. And they have this here, related, Jason Momoa's future as Aquaman may end with the sequel. Along with The Flash, The Lost Kingdom is the only remaining feature film left on the DC slate, with Gunn and Safran seemingly content to wipe the slate clean, scrub the decks, and start over after a 10-year plan, which felt compressed into about 5 movies, and try to fast-track the DC Extended Universe into a place similar to Marvel Studios' Cinematic Universe. A bunch of unrelated jokes and some superhero costumes doing random things. That wouldn't be so good. They go on to say that James Gunn is a fan of Momoa, and as far as his acting, yeah, sure. I mean, who isn't? There's really nothing wrong with him. He looks good. He's a muscle man. He usually nails the parts he's given. As an actor, I'm cool. His social life, his political stuff, not so much, but it's pretty typical these days. So, with the political stuff aside, I enjoy seeing his films. He's not at the level where I'm like, nope, not watching it, he's in it. If it's good, like Dune, yeah, cool, fine. They go on to remind us that Aquaman was kind of a surprise hit. They did not expect it to do $1 billion, no one did. Aquaman is not like the most popular character ever. He's not Superman, Batman, Spider-Man. It's just Aquaman swimming with the dolphins and now maybe preaching about how the oceans are polluted and things. And of course, there was Mera in there. But nonetheless, it did great. And I'm sure that's why there's a sequel coming up. But we shall see how the sequel does. Gotta be a broken record. I predict it'll do pretty good. Probably a little bit more than half of what the original did. 700, 650 million, something like that. I don't think it's gonna bomb. But of course, I'm not rooting for it. I won't see it. Let me know what you think down below. Let's do a shout out. Shout out to Superstorm Day, great supporter here. Thank you so much. Also to Gia, always supporting. Thank you, Gia. And to Laura B, who sends me some great articles and stuff. Thank you so much, Laura. And if you're not subscribed here, consider it. And if you don't consider it, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. Done for now. See you next time.